Okay, so hello everyone for today's session. First of all, I'm just showing you from the previous class that we have started already the constructor portion. Okay, so what is a constructor? Previously, I have mentioned and defined all of you. I just repeat today. For who are the new one, just not reply now. Constructor basically is a special method or member which will initialize the variable. Okay, it is used to instantiate an object. Actually, what is the meaning of instantiate? And what is the meaning of initializing an object? I will show you how the initialization portion first of all works. And actually, initialization or instantiate means the assigning the values or assigning the particular method or for operation that for what we want to get our output for the data member, and then when the object is created, it is held for object to work further operation. So how the instantiate or the initialization portion works? Okay, that is the main question. At first, I am creating just as previous, I am creating same program class and then sample. First of all, I am creating here the sample class. Then under the sample class, we just use define for some method and then self. Then here we just put a is equal to 50, b is equal to 30, just like previously, and then print a plus b. And now after operation end, we just create a object called s1 of the sample class, and then just to instantiate or initialize the object with the method. Okay, so how the instantiate or initialization is created? It will be run and get us the 80 answer. So actually this is a class. We have created there a sample class, and in the sample class, we just create another method called sum by using def keyword, and then putting the value a is equal to 50, b is equal to 30, then print a plus b. And then we just create a object for the sample class called s1, and then s1 dot sum, that is the initialization portion of an object. So actually this is the initialize and how it works. First of all, I'm repeating, when the object is created, then object is stored in which memory? Please tell me, anyone. I saw in the previous class, when the object is created, yes, when the object is created, then the object is totally stored in a heap memory. Okay, so what the heap memory does in a system, heap memory store all the data, store all the data. Then after collecting all the data, then storing it there, let's speaking s1 object is stored. Then for the operation, for the execution, it will invoke in the stack memory. S means stack memory, H means heap memory. It will go for the stack memory, and when it is invoked for the execution part. Execute. So actually, when we create a class, then under the class, when we create another type of methods and what we can operate and give the output for our further process, then after creating an object for the particular class, and then we just here using the object for initialization and the particular method that is to be mentioned under the class that we created. So this process is totally called initialization, not the constructor. Actually, constructor using def double underscore init. It is the main structure. At first, it is the main use of initialization and how the object is created, then stored in the heap memory, then invoked for execution portion. So this type of data will store and create. Now, what is the actual constructor do? First of all, there are two type of constructor. First of all, there are two type of constructor and how many types they can afford or they can put themselves. See, this is an example that I am previously created. Here, we just create an class called PCS global. Okay. So this is a default of constructor that is def in itself. So what is the parameterized constructor? That is the second one. Actually, which constructor already invoke or summon for the initial value called just like here self. You can self here use it is default, but when we put there already some parameter, okay, for our further use for our another portion of operation, then it is called the parameterized constructor. But I should show all of you the what the default constructor actually works. After creating the class PCS global, then we create the constructor def double underscore init, then double underscore self. See, it is the structure or body of a constructor. What it does, actually, what it works, self.pcs, we all are now Python domain. It works is to to initiate this type of message, this type of operation whenever in this function, whenever in under this constructor we create another operation or anything else, it will show us later. But here we just passing on a message that self.pcs, we all are now Python domain. That is our main topic. And now, method of printing the data members. What is its meaning? Its meaning, when a constructor is created, its initialization and object. I am showing what is the initialization actually works. Then in details, to be go further more details. Actually, it does assigning values. Actually, it does assigning values to the particular data members, assigning values to the particular data members. Then this type of assignation works for creating the object. It helps the object which is created after the class. The class is PCS global, and then P1 is the object and of PCS global class. Okay. So actually constructor initialization the object. What is the meaning of initialization? I will show by structure and how it works. Actual meaning in depth is assigning the values to the data members that is an object created and that purpose also. So what then it works and what it will be helped when methods and data members are collected, then we create another def PCS domain self, then print, just we call print self PCS. And what is the meaning of, then what is the meaning, what is the self PCS does? Self PCS I am previously mentioned here, we all are now Python domain. Wait. See, we all are now Python domain. After creating a constructor, def PCS domains or self, print self dot PCS. Okay, just we call the in the constructor portion, we just created self.pcs and passing a message. Here we don't any need of this type of message again typing, just print and passing self.pcs. What happened? This is the object creation, and when after creating the object, we use the object for our further process, that is p1 dot pcs domain. Here we just passing the function name PCS domain. What it will show us? We all are now Python domain. Let's check. See. So actually, this is the main portion how an constructor works here. In the previous day, I am define you what is a constructor. Now this is, then we show you what is the initialization portion works. At first, when an object created, then it is stored in the heap memory. After the heap memory storing and execution, for the execution part, it will invoke in the stack memory, and where it will execute the operation. So it is the initialization portion. Now, how and what the constructor does? First of all, creating the class, and then we call the default constructor def, init, and self. It is the structure to summon or to create an constructor. Then when the constructor is created, we just passing a message, not any operation, not any method, just passing a message. We all are now Python domain. How? Storing in self.pcs. Then we further process, we create a function def pcs underscore domains dot self in the parentheses. Then just print self.pcs. We don't need any type of printing the message. We are now in Python domain, just to pass self.pcs. Then what happened? For the class PCS global, we just create an object p1 is equal to PCS global. This is an object creation. This portion is called object creation. Object creation. And then when the object is created, already does the constructor and passing this message. This type of message is totally linked up with the function, that is print self.pcs. When the object is created, object is totally linked up with this function, just PCS underscore domains, just calling the function. No need any type of message and there. And in the function name, AR self.pcs already done. So it will show us we all are now Python domain. Understand everybody how the constructor works? Or I can repeat.
Yes, sir.
Everybody please respond.
Yes, sir.
No issue, no confusion. Others, Alka, Anjali, Jagruti, Naresh, Radha, Samsairil, Swam, all are understand this?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So please take a screenshot of this example. Okay. Please take a screenshot. This is the example. Please take. And then we will move for the lambda function. And one more thing about the constructor, just to for remind this. C means constructor will not have any default value. Constructor have no default value. It is not a reserve. Sorry, it has not any type of any return type. It will not have any return type. And the third one is object is totally linked with constructor. That means whenever object is created, the constructor summon for initialization of object. These 3 points is the key of an object constructor. Okay, just remind, constructor will not have any default value, constructor will not have any return type, and the object when total directly linked up with constructor, whenever object is created, constructor will invoke or constructor will initialize the object. So this is the totally constructor part. I think you all understand what I am trying to teach. Now we will move for the lambda function. Please tell me about lambda function if anybody have an idea. What is a lambda function and what it does?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, it helps to define the function.
Sir, it is a function without a name. It is also called an anonymous function. It accepts multiple arguments but returns only one value.
It actually take any number of arguments but have only one expression. That is the main issue of lambda function. So I
And it
just
is used
mentioned
for
you.
simple
Yes.
argument.
Okay, I'm just will show you what is the lambda function works. Please, anybody don't browse or any type of note, please don't provide here. Okay. Python is totally upon your understand. It is just like that of mathematics portion, and there are so many short type of coding. Just you can evaluate your output. Don't need any type of browser and any type of notes to previously depend. Okay. Ah, So this is the actual definition of a lambda function. What is mean? Lambda function is a small anonymous function that can be take any number of arguments, but it can take or only have one expression. Please write down everybody for the definition portion. Lambda function is a small anonymous function that can take that can be taken or that can take any number of arguments, but it can take or only have one expression. Please write down the definition. So how the lambda function actually, is there any restriction? Is there any open spaces for all that can use? Actually, it is free, or we said one is free to use lambda function whenever object are required. See, if it is lambda function, if it is constructor, if it is in the OOPS concept, all their object is very much taking the importance lower. Actually, object purpose, it will surrounding all the portions, little bit portions like constructor, then lambda function, then inheritance, then overloading, overriding, abstract class. So this is the object oriented programming language, Python it should be, and then free to use lambda function, and whenever it will be used, objects are required. So actually lambda function does this. Whenever objects are required, it is free to use. And how the usage of lambda function? Just here, we take a variable called x. And for lambda function, just write down lambda space a comma b, and then starting colon, then a star b, and then print parenthesis open x, again parenthesis open, start 5 comma 6. See, it will show us the answer. So for the Python programming, in you create a definition in the function call, it also works. But what is the use of lambda function? X is equal to lambda a comma b. So function call. Then what is the operation we have to perform in it? A star b. When then for the printing portion, whenever we try to print x 5 comma 6, if we change the expression, it will show us the result according to the operation that I mentioned in the lambda function. Now, how we use lambda function using that is what type of difference in it, using the def keyword. See, def square, then we mention x. Okay, then just here we mention return x star x for the square. Now, what it will be done here? Space, and now print the square of the given the square of the given number, and then we just here putting the comma, and then square, let's check 8. Okay, so see, so using the function here, we just create and getting the output of a number, square of a number, that is 8. First of all, creating the function, then in the function we just return x star x for the square portion, and after that print the square of the given number, and the square is 8. Okay, square of 8. It shows us the result that the square of the given number is 64. But how it works in lambda function? For this, just let taking a variable name lambda underscore square, let's check, is equal to taking the lambda function, done, then space, just like the previous one, taking x, just like previous one we taking a, and then putting the comma, or you can also, okay, there is two different values, so now that is one, and then the expression for the perform square operation, what is it? X star x, done. Now print double inverted comma starts, then just write the previous one. But here we should mention lambda underscore square, and then in the parenthesis it's 8. Okay, now run, it will show us the result. So what is the difference between using the function, between a normal function and lambda function? In the function we just create it, then someone and putting the operation, but here we just create a variable and then putting there the lambda function of the variable what we should the perform with it. Let's say it will be x or y or a and b, anything. Then after using colon, we just putting here the syntax of the square operation, that is x star x, number star number. Okay, then after that we just here print the square of the given number, and then lambda square 8, just putting this type, this is the main thing, the variable that where the lambda function is putting there, just call it and we will show the output. So first of all, it is the example of lambda function. Then difference of using normal function and lambda function. Now I will show you how the lambda function works for if else statement. Let's check min, a variable taken. Okay, min, then lambda function space. Now for the minimum value of two different value between, just check m comma n, then colon start. Okay, what the structure of finding minimum value between two values? M, let's try with m. When the m is minimum between the two, when space if m less than n, done. For m operation, done. Now space write down else n. My function call what is the structure for finding minimum value between two given numbers. Done. Now print, just print, then min parenthesis open 78 comma 32. Okay, run. It will show us the minimum value. So this way you also use lambda function in if else statement. Okay, so what is a lambda function? I'm repeating again. Lambda function is a small anonymous function that can be take any number of arguments, but it can take or only have only one expression. Just remind, lambda function can take any number of arguments, but only taken one expression. Okay, so first of all I am showing you the example of lambda function. Just taking a variable, creating the lambda function, then a comma b, then using the colon. What is the operation we should perform? That is the addition a plus b. Then I have to print, calling the variable 5 comma 6. It will show us the answer. What is the next step? We in the next step, I show you what is the difference between normal function and lambda function. Creating normal function here, for the square of a number, we just creating the function def square x, then return x star x. Okay, now print the square of the given number, square 8. The square of the given number should be 64. This is the form of a normal function when we use to find the square of a given number. But this operation is also performed by lambda function. How? Just to take a variable again. Wait. Okay, so then using the lambda function, we also do the function right where we also done in the previous. Like here, we just create a variable lambda underscore square. What? Where we create the lambda function, then for the square operation, putting the variable x, then colon start, then the structure of the square operation x star x. Again, print the square of the given number, lambda square of 8. We got our output. So it is the example, it is the difference between normal function and lambda function using same operation. Now in the lambda function, we also do the minimum, finding the minimum value using if else statement. For it, wait, sorry guys. So for if else statement, we just creating a variable called mean, then creating the lambda function to find minimum between two numbers m comma n. M if m less than n, for m else n. Print minimum 78 between 32, it will show us the result. All of you clear what is a lambda function? Because we will now move into OOPS concept. Clear,
Yes, sir.
everybody?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So please write down the definition. I think all of you done. Now write down or take screenshot for the this operation. Just no, I'm heading. Actually. Example. Difference between normal function and lambda function, and it is example of if else using lambda. Now you all can take the screenshot. Please taking the screenshot. Now we will move for OOPS concept in Python. From the first day to now, if anybody has any confusion with any topic, please try to contact me. Okay. I will repeat these sessions, which any topic you will feel any confusion after completing core Python. Okay. I think everybody clear what I want to teach you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Taking screenshot, all done?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Everybody please respond, because I want response from everybody.
Yes, sir.
Please tell me what is the inheritance. From your end, please tell me.
Inheritance is extracting the properties from one class to the another class is called inheritance.
Not like in programming language, just in your daily life example, in normal days, how the inheritance works.
Inheriting, taking properties from parents to children.
Yes, from parents to children, grandparents to grandchildren, sometimes through their parents, and then parents to from fathers to son, fathers to daughter, mothers to son. This is called inheritance. When we get the same property, same genome, same gene effectivity with our parents, it is called as inheritance. So just like that, in programming language, in coding language also there is called inheritance. And why we called it inheritance? Because when we create a class, after that, when we create another subclass, when that particular subclass is contains the effectability, the properties of the parent class, it is called as inheritance. Okay. Heading inheritance, write down the definition. Inheriting the property from one class to another class is called inheritance. I am repeating again. Inheriting the property from one class to another class is called inheritance. Okay. Now, I'm writing again. Okay. Tell me, what is the types of inheritance?
There are six
One
types of
Single,
one by one. Okay.
single inheritance, multiple.
Okay. Single inheritance.
Yes, sir.
single level
Yes.
inheritance.
Yes. Single level inheritance. Single level inheritance. Okay. Then,
Multi-level inheritance.
okay, fine. Multi-level inheritance. Then,
Multiple level,
Multiple
multiple level,
inheritance.
multiple.
level inheritance.
Inheritance.
No, that is not multiple level. That is only multiple inheritance. Okay. You can actually call it multiple inheritance. Multiple level or multiple inheritance, both are called, but for short term, multiple inheritance, to differentiate multi-level and multiple level, it will be little bit confusion. So I'm just writing multiple inheritance. Now, what is the fourth one?
Hierarchical inheritance.
Hybrid,
Okay, hierarchical. And what is the last one?
hybrid
Hybrid
level
inheritance.
inheritance.
Is there anything else?
Sir,
Circular inheritance was there, but I think
hello,
it was
sir.
not.
Yes.
Sir, in the definition, you write inheriting the property. Sir, inheriting the property and method, can we write both? Because property and method are
Yes.
different.
In
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, inheriting the property, and what is the property? In we creating a class, in the after creating a class, under the class, then we can also write any type of methods, any type of operation, any type of message. For property, we the term property used for all, and particular section there is called method. Understand what is the difference between
Yes, sir.
property and
Yes, sir.
method? Actually, property
Understand.
I am writing for all. It will passing a message. It will passing any type of operation, any type of methods. For that, I am just simply use property. No use. So, is there any type of inheritance left, or these five?
Only five, sir.
Sir, one more was there, but I think it was not discussed. No, circular inheritance.
Yes, circular inheritance there, but it is not discussed so much, right? This is the five
Yes, sir.
type of main inheritance. After that, what is the other one you are just telling? Discuss later. But this is the five types of main inheritance: single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid level inheritance. So now make heading single level inheritance. See, this is a super class, or you can say parent class. Okay. And this is a child class. Super class or parent class, and this is a child class or subclass. Okay. What is a single level inheritance? When we create a subclass for our further operation. When we create a subclass for our further operation, that subclass inheriting the property from only one superclass or parent class is called single level inheritance. When we create a subclass or child class, and that particular subclass or child class inheriting the property when we create a child class and subclass and it is inheriting the property from the superclass or parent class is called single level inheritance. Now write down the definition. Draw this structure first, this simple box, and called it superclass or parent class. Then the downwards arrow for the child class and subclass, and then write down the inheriting the property. This is the structure of a single level inheritance. Then just okay, wait. Parent class or superclass, which is a small child class or subclass, just to write down inheriting the property. Okay, and write down also the definition, what it looks like. When we create a subclass and the subclass is inheriting the property from only one parent class is called single level inheritance. Please remind. Hello. Ayon, please mute. Okay, so only one parent class. Please notice this. Subclass is inheriting the property from only one parent class. This is called single level inheritance. Till then, everybody done? Everybody
Yes, sir.
done? Definition and the structure?
Yes, sir.
Everybody give response.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, example. Let's taking a class. Let's create a class called money. Okay. Oh no, first of all, creating super class because it will understand all of you. Let's taking class super class. Now def money self method creation done, function call. Now b is equal to, let's taking 4000 and then print b. Done. Now create a subclass. And when we create a subclass, for inheriting the property, we just mention the name of parent class. Done. Now again def and how it, let's, who is there? Okay, others Alkanje, iron is, others is there. Okay, let's print iron's name. Let's print iron name. Okay, def iron, then again self. That's it. Now enter, print. Okay, hello, my name is iron. So that is the main structure for our class and superclass and subclass creation. Now how it works, how it does in the inheritance property, inheriting it. At first, we just to create object. Let's taking S1 is equal to object of superclass. Then just for that, after creating the object of a superclass, okay, see S1 dot, directly we define iron. Okay, then see what it does. Sorry.
Sir, we have to create the
Wait,
object of base
yes,
class.
yes. S1 dot
Sub.
money. First
No
of all,
sir, S1 equals to subclass आएगा sir, I think.
first of all, oh, okay, sorry, not subclass, it is subclass. Sorry. Just remove it. Okay. First of all, we here creating the subclass object S1. Okay. When we mention the subclass object, already we have mentioned here for the superclass and inheriting the property. But here we just creating the subclass object S1 and assigning and just print hello, my name is Ayan. See, S1 is the object of a subclass. Okay. But when we write S1 dot money, it also shows the result. Why? Because it inheriting the property of a superclass. It inheriting the property of a superclass. Just like that, again creating class superclass and then def sum self. Okay, this is sum underscore addition self. Then a is equal to 30, b is equal to 48. Done. Now class subclass class def subtraction little bit sub underscore sorry sum underscore sub for subtraction, then self, and colon x is equal to means 50, y is equal to 29, then here x minus y subclass, then creating object, let's k1. K1 is equal to now k1 dot okay. So here, first of all, creating as well in the mathematic operation, first of all, we just create a super class or parent class. Then after we just here mention of method or called addition, and putting the variable value a is equal to 30, b is equal to 48, then print a plus b. Again, we also create a subclass of the parent class superclass. Then again, we create a method sum underscore sub for the subtraction. And then we put here x is equal to 50, y is equal to 29, and then print 50 minus 29. And that's it. That is the result. But how at first we create an object called k1 for the subclass. K1 is equal to subclass, and then there is a method sum underscore sub k1 dot sum underscore sub. It will show us the result of a subclass. But how it inheriting the property? Now, if we write k1 dot k1 dot super class,
It's subclass, no?
Wait. Not class. Copy. Not class name, the method name. Just write down the method name. Again, run. It will show us the output. So first of all, creating parent class, creating subclass. After creating the parent class, here putting down the method name, and here also the method name. When for the inheritance portion in the subclass, just write down the parent class name in the parenthesis of the subclass. It will automatically show us the result and not need again creating an object, separate object for the parent class. So this is the structure, this is the example of single label inheritance. Please write down the both examples. I will give you 5 minutes. Please write down.
Done, sir.
Done, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Just wait. I'm sending you the attendance link. Then I will continue with the multi-level inheritance. Please show in the chat box, give your attendance. Then I am continue with the multi-level inheritance. And it will be the last topic for today. All done with your attendance?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So our next part or the next type of inheritance is multi-level inheritance. How it works? For the multi-level inheritance, the subclass, as we know for the previous one, the single level inheritance, the subclass is inheriting the property from its parent class. Subclass is inheriting the property from its parent class. In which parent class? This parent class is also inheriting the property from one more, or you can say another superclass. Here I just naming it grand superclass, GS. When a subclass is created, the subclass is inheriting the property from its parent class. Which parent class? The parent class is also inheriting the property from another superclass, or you can say grand superclass. Varakumar, I have already sent the Google link in the chat box. Please fill up the Google form for attendance. So for the multi-level inheritance, after subclass inheriting the property from a parent class, in which parent class? The parent class is also inheriting the property from another superclass or grand superclass. So this is the structure of multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. You can say A, B, and C. C is inheriting from B. B is inheriting from A. You can also take a screenshot from this. Now I am writing the definition of a multi-level inheritance. A subclass is inheriting the property from its superclass or parent class in terms of that parent class is also inheriting the property from another superclass is called multi-level inheritance. So this is the definition of a multi-level inheritance. A subclass is inheriting the property from its superclass or parent class in terms of that parent class or superclass is also inheriting the property from another superclass is called multi-level inheritance. Is called multi-level inheritance. Write down the definition. Now we move on for the example part. Please write down. A subclass is inheriting the property from its superclass or parent class in terms of that parent class is also inheriting the property from another superclass is called multi-level inheritance. Is called multi-level inheritance. Okay. So what is the example? Here we just creating a class named GS class. Yes. So this is a class name. GS class means grand superclass. Here def sum underscore add self A is equal to 50, B is equal to 80, print A plus B. Our work for grand superclass done. Now move on to parent class. That is the child class of grand superclass. Class P underscore class. There G underscore S C class. Now def sum underscore sub. Okay. Now self again x is equal to 25, y is equal to 17, print x minus y. Our first child class, that is the parent class and child class of grand superclass done. Okay. Now the main subclass. Class C underscore class. There P underscore C class. Then done def sum underscore mul for multiplication where self. Now P is equal to 58, 90 and Q is equal to 25. Then print P star Q. So the three steps. First of all, we create the grand superclass. There create a method sum addition self A is equal to 50, B is equal to 80, print A plus B. Again, first child class, that is the parent class and child class of grand superclass created. Def sum subtraction self x is equal to 25, y is equal to 17, print x minus y. Then the actual subclass, that is C underscore class, and the child class of parent class. See, the child class of parent class created. Then def sum underscore mal self p is equal to 90, q is equal to 25, print p star q. Now what? Now we create the object of main subclass, that is the grandchild of grand subclass and child class of parent class, that is CC class. Means object C1 is equal to copy, paste, done. Now C1 dot it will show us the object we create for the child class, and then we assigning the just function call sum underscore mal. It will show us the result. The works is done for the child class. Now inheriting the property from its parent class, that is p underscore class, c1 dot just the method name. It will show us the result. We don't need, actually we also do another object of p class, then just like that we summon, but in the inheritance we don't need to create again another object for p class, because it is the parent class of CC class. We already have created an object of CC class. It just inherit the property C. It just inherit the property of its parent class C1 dot sum underscore sub. Just going for method name and inherit the property of P class, it will show us the result. Okay. Now P underscore class, it also inheriting the property from G class of its parent class. It also a child class. It also inheriting the property from its parent class called G class. C C1 dot the method name run, it will show the result. Why it is does? Because this is also inherit the property from its parent class, which is also inherit the property from its another parent class, that is G underscore S class. So this is the multi-level inheritance. In the multi-level inheritance, when we create a subclass, the subclass is inheriting the property from its parent class or superclass in terms of that particular parent class or superclass is inheriting the property from another or one more superclass is called multi-level inheritance. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All clear for today's
Yes,
class?
sir.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
So it is for today. Next day, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, and hybrid inheritance we'll discuss. Okay. Please write down
Okay,
or
sir.
taking the screenshot of this example. And next class will be Tuesday morning, 11:30 a.m. So this is the example of multi-level inheritance. Multiple is okay. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for joining. And